Hello, this is Lindsay with Readings by Lindsay. For those of you that don't know me, I am a professional psychic and medium. I'm also a certified past life regressionist, and this is my YouTube channel. If you have not seen me before or have not watched this YouTube channel before, which you probably haven't because I've been really bad since I started at making regular videos. But you will probably find a lot of my videos interesting if you're into psychics, the supernatural, the paranormal, things like that. You probably will find my channel useful and you might like it. So if you think you might, please feel free to like and subscribe to this video. This is just a quick intro I'm making because I had a client ask me to do a digital reading for her. I do digital readings for people that have single questions or just want a simple 8-card general reading for, anywhere from $10 to $40 that may not want a live reading that is a little bit more expensive. So that's something that, and also that's why my email address is affordablepsychic@yahoo.com. But anyway, instead of the promo, let me get to this. I had a client that asked me two interesting questions. And I thought, you know what? And I did them in the form of a digital product. So I have the video here. And I thought, you know what? This would be really good information to put out there for people. So I decided to post this on the channel for everybody to watch and explain some things about how we communicate with souls that we either are very close to here on Earth in our lifetime, or people that we don't get along with very well in our lifetime after we die and after they die, and kind of what happens. I don't go into a full-blown explanation on it, but I could, and if you want to leave me messages in the comments and you're interested in more information on it, please do, and I will make another video explaining a little bit more about this. Feel free to leave some comments and let me know where you want me to go from there, but I thought that this reading per se would make a good discussion on this channel. I still haven't really gotten down how exactly I want to run this channel, since most of the readings I do are live, either in person or through video chat for my long distance customers. If you are interested in booking a private reading with me, all you need to do is give me an email at affordablepsychic@yahoo.com, or you can call or text me at 262-577-1794, or you can message me on my Facebook page, Readings by Lindsay. So I guess without further ado, here it is. So it's Lindsay. So this is a little different than usually when people ask me single questions. Have me do single question readings. It's usually like, should I take this job or something like this. So I'm gonna do my best, because I usually lay out cards for it, to answer these two questions for you, but I'm going to use a different type of deck. So this is the Spirit Messages deck, which is a daily guidance oracle deck by John Holland. And I'm going to do it for each question along with my explanation. So basically, when we pass, or just in the spirit world, even before we're born, we have a group of souls that are what are soulmates. A lot of people get soulmates confused with the twin flame theory, and we can have more than one soulmate. They don't have to be lovers. They're basically like soul families. So there are a group of souls that we don't necessarily incarnate in every life with them, but we work with them through lifetime, and we're all kind of connected. So you, like, for example, if your husband is a soulmate, he could have been your mother in another lifetime, or your father in another lifetime, and he could have been your sister in another lifetime, or your best friend in another lifetime. Or there's a lot of times when he could have been your lover over and over again, because there's a lesson that you guys aren't learning, or something that you're trying to complete together that's not getting completed in these lifetimes. So let's start with the people that you love. So when you pass, will you be reunited with them? Let's say your husband passes and then you pass. Yes, you will be reunited with them, especially somebody that loved in this lifetime very much and had a very strong bond with. There are many times, and I see this in spiritual readings a lot, a loved one will pass and they will send a message that they're planning on taking the angel of death's place when they die, which means, instead of the angel of death coming to get you, to bring you over the other side, this person is going to come to this side and, hold your hand and cross that bridge with you instead. And it happens a lot, actually. And you usually, when you get to the other side, you are met by a lot of people that you loved in this lifetime. So that's a very common thing. And I'm going to, before I go into the second part of the second question, I'm going to stop with that. I'm going to lay down some cards and interpret them with that question in mind. So, and will you love them even more? That's actually a good question. It's even the better question is even the people that you can't stand, will you love them? Will you hate them anymore? Or, well, you won't hate them or despise them more, but will you have love for them? I think the better question is, will you have some sort of love for them on the other side? I think that's a better question, and I'll get to that after this, because when we cross over, we usually lose a lot of those negative feelings. Not all negative feelings, but a lot of those strong, almost hatred type negative feelings. When we cross over to a higher dimension, I should say, some people get stuck on these lower dimensions and they can't find peace. Those feelings of anger and those lower vibrational energies will still stay with them. But once you pass on to a higher dimension, which we want to do, those lower vibrational energies usually subside and go away. So let's stay with the first question. So will you love them even more? You'll definitely see them again, meet with them again, and probably incarnate again with a lot of these people. See, forgiveness is the first one. So anything that you have received, anything that a father's love, that's interesting. I don't know why, if your father is alive, this wouldn't be your father. It would probably be your grandfather if your grandfather is deceased. If not exactly sure why a father's love is coming up here, but when I put all the cards out, I'll interpret it. But it almost seems like you're already getting a message from the other side, from a father figure. Almost guiding you and in gratitude. So we've got that going on here. So receiving is the central issue here. So they are going to be there. The people that we loved in this lifetime that have already passed are going to be there to receive us, just like I said. They're going to be there to greet us. Any hard feelings that you may have had in this lifetime towards them will be instantly forgiven. And you'll find that they have already forgiven you for anything that you may think that they haven't forgiven you for, because when we pass, like I said, those lower vibrational energies go away. So it's a place of ultimate unconditional love and forgiveness, those higher energy levels. Being that we go to that place and we don't get stuck on a lower energetic plane. There is, so it's not just forgiveness. It's like resentment is going to be gone. Anything that is stifling your spiritual development will be released, so you can ascend into that higher place. And that's why sometimes people don't ascend, is because resentment is probably, it's so damaging, and one of the lowest emotions that not only harm other people, but they harm ourselves. The resentments harm ourselves because it keeps us from ascending. So we have the opportunity to immediately release those resentments, which goes into the forgiveness. So it goes into that unconditional love. If we hold on to those resentments, we can't ascend. So that in essence, we get stuck on those lower vibrational planes and we can't find peace. This is not to scare you. It's just, we do have that opportunity to do it. And, for the most part, people seem to do it, in my experience. It's definitely a transformation that we go through when we pass away. Obviously it's a transformation, but our feelings and those letting go of those negative emotions is a huge transformation that we go through during that transformation. So to answer your question, maybe loving them more, you could possibly say, yeah, you will love them anymore. Unconditional would probably be the word that I would rather use, though, because those conditions, any conditions that you had placed on the earthly world, are going to be gone when you cross over and when they receive you on the other side. Now, it's interesting that this Father's Love card popped up, because it looks like the feeling that I get is it could be either your father or more so a grandfather that could be coming through, and basically telling you that, just like I said, sometimes somebody meets you on the other side instead of, takes death's place. This person, this male father type figure, is actually going to be the person that takes death's place and actually comes and brings you over. And that's because they love you so much. They have a love for you that's so strong and so unconditional that they are taking that responsibility to come and get you. Also, it's an example, even though this isn't a mother's love card, it's almost like I want to compare it to like a mother's love is, so how strong a mother's love is, and it's almost instinctual, or it is instinctual. A father's love is instinctual too, but it's like it's so strong that it never dies, it never goes away. So even though you die, that feeling of love does not die. It's still there. And yes, you will be reunited with all of these people again that you cared for in this life, and probably others that were not in this life with you but are on the other side, because it's that soul family. Another thing is, these bonds that you have when people pass and you're still here, you can tap into it. You don't have to wait to die to be with them and tap into those emotions and those feelings again. You can tap into them at any time. Just because they passed away, that feeling, that spirit, that emotion is still alive and well and still here. All you have to do is think about that person, and that will draw them to you. And you can tap into that power of that emotion at any time, that healing of that emotion at any time. Now, your foundation card that came up is gratitude. So, with this, talking about gratitude, I'm looking more at the picture, and it's interesting because it's somebody that's praying. So, again, it kind of goes with that final message that I said. Like, you can still tap into these emotions at any time. Just because someone dies, you can still tap into those emotions at any time. And I'm going to actually read the bottom of this card to you, because I think that might help make a little bit more sense of it too. Life is one big continuous circle of giving and receiving energy. Be thankful for who and what is in your life instead of complaining about what you don't have. If you focus on gratitude, you'll start to attract prosperity and abundance. So again, life is one big continuous circle. So is death. So when we die, life is not over. And I'm not trying to push the theories of reincarnation on you, but it's the way I explain things, because it's what I've witnessed as far as in this lifetime and with the work that I do. For me, there's no convincing me that reincarnation doesn't exist, because I can't be convinced of it just from what I've seen and what I've dealt with and the work that I've done. There's just no way to convince me, because it's a pseudoscience, but for me, I have enough evidence that reincarnation exists. So it's like, even when we die, like I said, we plan other lifetimes so we can continue. So it's a continuous journey with the same group of souls. And yes, there are other souls that we meet along the way that don't have that same connection, that these same soulmates or soul families that we have, they may not aren't in it, because we are all connected in the sense that we are all one collective energy. But the different souls that we interact with, they're all for our work and the lessons that we need to do and the things we need to bring to life. There's that same group of souls, and it's not even 5 or 6 souls. I mean, it can be a large number of souls, because you figure this lifetime isn't there's other souls that we are connected with that we're not even going to meet in this lifetime that are still part of that soul family. I mean, we're talking, it could literally be, I don't have a number, but I would say, it could be 100, if not hundreds of souls that we are bonded with in that way. So it's one big continuous circle, and it goes around and around and around and around, and we keep dealing with these same people. So when we pass on, and it's assuming that we are able to get past those negative emotions and let them go, and get rid of that forgiveness, or to forgive and get rid of those resentments, we go to a higher place, a higher plane where those negative emotions don't exist. And yes, I guess in a sense we are able to love that person even more because there are no conditions set on it. Now, to get to the opposite side of that, like people that we completely despise in this life and running into them in the other life, that is a little bit different, because there are people in this lifetime that we may not get along with for various reasons. And some of those people we don't get along with because they are just like there are evil spirits, there are evil people, and they operate on a lower vibration. So we may not get along with them just because they're not on the same level we are. So in a lot of cases, and actually I just did a reading a couple of months ago for somebody that it was very much so with this. Actually, it was her father that I connected with. And he was not at peace. And he was not at peace because he was not able to get past the negative emotions and resentments that he had in lifetime. So he was on a lower energy. He was going through doors. And it's not that he hadn't crossed over, but he had crossed over to a lower plane. So he would just go through one door and there'd be miserable souls there. So he'd leave and he'd go through another door and there'd be miserable souls there. He could not find peace no matter where he went. And it all went on that lower vibration, that lower energy he was. And he wasn't a very nice person in life either. So, that happens, So sometimes we don't run into those people just because they're not on our spiritual soul level. Now, if it's somebody that we don't like because we had a disagreement with, that could be something very different. We may run into them, and again, if it was a minor disagreement and maybe we were just, when they passed away, they had done something to us and we decided, you know what, I'm never speaking to that person again, they passed away, and you're just like, I stopped speaking to them 10 years ago because they did this to me, but they were still, for the most part, a good person. When you pass away, again, those conditions could be lifted and you could run into that person again, and actually it wouldn't matter anymore, especially if they are somebody that you're spiritually connected with. Now, I have also seen it where there are evil, I don't want to say evil, just lower vibrational souls that just want to destroy people, and they almost follow them around or incarnate and try to interject themselves into other people's lives as they incarnate to stop their soul purpose from happening. And those can be dangerous. But, here's something that I don't know for sure, but it's something that it's a belief that I have, is good always prevails no matter what. Where there's darkness, light can always be found through that darkness. So even though it may have to happen over and over and over again, people usually serve their purpose. So let's look at this question a little bit more with these cards. So people that, when you pass away, people that you didn't get along with in this lifetime, are you going to have are you going to run into them again? And if you do run into, see, we already have a card falling. You are not alone. This is exactly what I'm saying about that, these lower energies can find you. Maybe not in the afterlife, but when you incarnate again, they can incarnate in the same place to find you and still continue to try to destroy you. It happens. And I don't want to make it sound like it's going to happen all the time and you've got to worry about these people following everybody that you don't like following you from life to life, to lifetime to lifetime to lifetime to destroy you, but it happens. A lot of times, too, though, these people, these spirits are... I don't want to say non-human spirits, but they are controlled by some sort of non-human spirit. Or they work with non-human spirits. At some point in time, they worked with non-human spirits and made some sort of contract with them. So they are kind of like minions. So that's where that comes in at. Now, as far as, will you see them on the other side? Will you forgive them, or will you just despise them anymore? I'm still going to pull some cards out on that. So, hello from heaven is coming up. Gratitude again is coming up. It's again, and that's the central issue. Again, it explaining that circle. We never really die. Our energy doesn't die. Our body dies, but our energy doesn't die. So it continues to go around. So we may meet these people again, be it on the other side or in another lifetime. The way I feel it is, it's in another lifetime is when we're going to meet these other people again. Again, it's you are not alone is right above that. So if they really feel like, and these are truly evil people, like I said, people that have made some sort of karmic pact with something that's a non-human spirit to do their bidding at some point in time. It could have been 1,000 years ago. They're finding you down to, they're going to continue to try to stop you. Doesn't mean stop you from, completing the good you're doing or whatever your life purpose is. Doesn't mean that they're going to be able to do it, but there's ways. And then let go. Some of them go away. And one more card, take a moment. So let's look at this all together. So first of all, I'm going to look at the first card, hello from heaven. So, when you pass away, like I said, if there is somebody that it may be minor, something from this lifetime that, you guys may have been close and something just, you stopped getting along because something happened. If they passed away before you did, they could have realized their ways. And as long as you, let go of those resentments, that can be forgiven in heaven. So that those minor things, once you pass away, they're nothing anymore. They go away. Like I said, when it's something else that's something bigger, it can karmically, they're not going to, if it's something bigger and they're not, meant to ascend to that higher energy place where you're at, you're probably not going to see them again until a reincarnation into another lifetime. But it doesn't mean that they're not looking for you. They're going to try to figure out where you're going, and they're still going to try to figure out where you're at. Again, that goes with the you are not alone card. Now, the interesting thing is, a lot of times you're going to know if somebody passes before you that you had problems with, and like if it's a minor problem, a lot of times they might actually send you signs and signs of apology before you pass away. So it's something that, or you may just know it, they may come to you in dreams. Somehow they're going to try to apologize to you before you die. It's not just like an evil thing, you know what I mean? There's kind of two different levels to that. Either way, when you pass away, you're going to be able to let go of resentment, so you'll be connected again, and any despise or, anger, that will dissolve. Okay, so, and again, when we have this let go card, that goes even further. You're going to let go of whatever minor details happen in this life when you ascend. As long as you're on the same level as that person, you're not going to have problems with them anymore. You actually are probably going to love them even more, or have some sort of unconditional love for them once again, because all that negativity is gone. Assuming that they're on the same spiritual level that you're on. Now, the final card, take a moment. I'm going to read this one to you too. It says, stop. Now is not the time to rush into the decision you're about to make. Before this important decision is made, take a moment to pause and quiet your mind so you can ask yourself for guidance before you act or move forward. The reason why I feel like I needed to read that to you is because I know that this is probably something that you're wondering and you're considering and it's a question, but this is something that's really not going to come into play until your life's actually over, and you're not going to die today. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, this isn't something you need to worry about because, right now you're living your life to your purpose for right now and what this life's about. So any problems that you have with people now or anything that's going on right now with people that whether you love them or you dislike them, that's happening in this lifetime for a reason. When you pass, things will reveal themselves in a much bigger way. So you don't want to live your life like you're trying to live for when you pass away, because that defeats the whole purpose of your job right now in this lifetime. So, there may be, you may have people in your life that you're meant to not get along with for a reason, because that's part of your soul purpose or their soul purpose, even though when you both are done, when your lives are both over with, you guys are going to ascend to the same place and that's going to be over with. But there's going to have been a reason for why you had a conflict. There had to be a catalyst for something, and that relationship between you two was the catalyst. So I also feel like I should read the Let Go card to you too, because I think this might actually help you in this lifetime. Once you let go of the outcome, you'll be able to release all the emotional constraints that have held you back in the past. Trust in the higher good and the guidance of spirit, as we have only our best intentions at heart and will do everything in our power to protect you. So, again, this is, this is looking at your lifetime. You let go of the outcome. The outcome in the end is you passing. So once you let go of the fact that, this is about, once you accept the fact that this is about this lifetime and don't worry about the outcome when you pass, you're going to realize that, it's going to be a lot easier when you do pass to move to that higher plane and to that forgiveness and to get rid of those negative emotions and go where you need to go and be with who you need to be with. So I hope that answered your question. I hope I didn't confuse you too much with that second one because, like I said, that second one's a little bit more difficult because it kind of depends on who the person is. Because some people we don't get along with in this lifetime, but there's a reason for that. It doesn't necessarily mean that we're not meant to get along with them on the other side or in other lifetimes. And then there's other souls that are just not good souls and they're on a lower plane, and we're not going to meet them on the other side at all, but we may meet them in another lifetime, and we're still not going to like them in that other lifetime, and they're still going to create problems for us. So, okay, I'm going to upload this and get this sent to you as soon as I can, and you have a wonderful day. Bye.